Hey, it's Brian Mudd, and this is my cheat sheet for Friday, July 15th. S&P says there's a 50-50 chance that they will downgrade the United States credit. So now that we're getting to 50-50 kind of numbers here within the next 3 months, what will actually happen with your money if the U.S. defaults on its credit? It still is really hard to understand how this will all play out, but we have some pretty good commentary that came from Bankrate.com. Greg McBride, who's actually a local guy based out of North Palm Beach, ended up saying that if it happens, credit is going to end up being so much more difficult to obtain. The idea will be that if the United States can default on its credit, any country and anyone can. Consequently, lending will be stalling, and it'll be hard for you to obtain credit. But on top of that, we're likely to see investments fall. We're talking about stock prices. We're even talking about a lot of commodities. Now, gold could end up soaring. It could be a big deal for gold as a safe haven, but they point out eventually, at some point, you're going to need to sell that gold to buy things. In other words, it's a somewhat dire picture of the overall economy. The one word of advice to you, get out of debt to the extent you can. Having debt, if the U.S. defaults and credit is becoming more difficult, is going to be the last thing you're going to want to be caught with, and especially any interest rates that aren't fixed at lower rates. You want to get those fixed if you can, because those rates are likely to climb. More information on my cheat sheet. You can click the link right below here at WJNO.com. All right, so job picture. Now, the news isn't good there either. We're seeing the job growth estimates coming down over the next year. Just over the past month, the expectations have gone from about a 2.2% job growth picture in the United States over the next year down to about 1.8%. Florida's projections have come down as well from 3.4% to 3.1%. The good news for us is obviously we are still one of the better states in the country for projected job growth. The other small silver lining is that every state in the country is expected to see at least some job growth over the next year. However, we are still anticipating that there will be an unemployment rate of higher than 8% by the end of 2012. So there is no quick fix here to the employment picture. It will remain high for the foreseeable future. Apple just passed, over the course of the last week, Toshiba and Acer to become the number 3 overall seller of computers. Apple gets all the attention for the tablets, for the iPads, for the iPhone, but oftentimes we don't talk about their computer sales. Well, Toshiba, which has been a dominant player for years, getting passed by Apple, is significant. Obviously, Apple is taking the brand loyalty from its other products and turning those customers into MacBook users. And more news on MacBook could be coming next week. It looks like the next edition of the MacBook Airs will be hitting sometime over the course of the next week. Android is setting records. They are adding 550,000 new customers per day. That is a smartphone record. Android is the number 1 overall player in smartphones. That number, though, is up about 100,000 customers per day just since May. So obviously, as more people add smartphones, since Droid is the number 1 player, you are continuing to see an acceleration of growth despite the sluggish economy. And Sony's new e-readers will be on the way in August, if anyone cares. They haven't exactly made a splash in the e-reader market yet. We'll wait and see what their new products will do. They have been coming in at higher prices than some of the base level offerings from Barnes & Noble and from Amazon with the Kindle. So I have some reasons as well as to why your company might be failing on Facebook. Again, click the link right below here on the cheat sheet today if you want that information. And enjoy your weekend. We'll see you Monday.